Hi everybody, this is Michelle and I'm saying hello and welcome to our 7th Wakey Shakey Screencast. Today we are going to look at an aspect of extending your vocabulary which is called word formation. The idea of this is again that we don't reinvent the wheel, but that you can be sure that you're really using all of the different forms of the words that you already know. So really this falls under lexis or word grammar. Okay? Now, in order to really understand how to make different forms of a word, we have to understand the basic technology to describe parts of speech. When I say parts of speech, what I mean is what role that each word plays in a sentence. So have a look at these. Just refresh your memory what's a noun, an adjective, a verb, an adverb, a prefix, and a suffix. So I'm sure that you said a noun is a thing. An adjective describes the noun or gives more information about the noun. In the same way, a verb is a doing word and an adverb describes that. We'll come to prefixes and suffixes a little bit further on in the screencast. So, just to practice, have a look at this sentence. The tall man drove quickly in his fast car. Can you identify the noun, the adjective, the verb and the adverb? Okay, I'm sure you did. Man is the noun, or one of the nouns. Tall describes the man, so tall is an adjective. Car is a noun, fast describes the noun, so that's also an adjective. The verb or the doing word is drove, and quickly describes the verb, so then quickly is the adverb. Okay, that was quite an easy task. Let's do it the other way around. Can you identify what part of speech is missing from this sentence down here? I know this is a bit harder to do out of context, but just have a go. Okay, I'm sure that you are 100% correct with this one as well. Horse is a noun, so what's missing here is an adjective. Good is an adjective, so what's missing here is a noun. Ridden is the verb, so what's missing here is the adverb. This is a skill that will be really helpful when you're looking more in depth at different text types, so it's a really good idea to develop a kind of automatic awareness of parts of speech and what function they serve in a sentence. So, moving on to word building, I'm sure that you've all heard the terms prefix and suffix, so really we're just going to review how these work and how they can help you. So obviously prefixes, pre, go before a word to make a new version of that word or another member of the word family. If we look at the words in orange, all of these are adjectives. Now the idea is to make the opposite adjective using the correct prefix. So just have a go. You might want to stop the screencast to give yourself a little bit more time to really explore this properly. But I'm going to give you the answers now, and there may be some surprises. There's no real way to know which is the correct prefix, but with practice you can get the hang of it. You can see how easy it is to double your usage of words that you know just by knowing the correct prefix. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about word formation. Okay, so let's move on to talk about suffixes. If you look here in this box, the orange box, we've got verb, verb, noun, adjective, verb. Sometimes it can be really helpful when you're recording vocabulary to make the notation about what kind of word it is, and then you can think about how to make different forms of it or other members of that word family. Here, adjective, verb, adjective, adjective. Now, we've got some endings which are going to help us make nouns from those basic words. And you can see here that there are some really useful endings which tell you that this is going to be a noun. And obviously because they're coming after the original word, they're suffixes. So prefix is before, suffix is after. So again, just have a think, how are you going to make those nouns? Again, you can stop the video before we go on to the answers. So here you have the answers: approval, information, friendship, payment, repetition, popularity, and socialism. Something to be aware of is that when you're making a different form of that word, sometimes the pronunciation also changes. So you might want to make a little notation when you're making new words about where the strong emphasis comes in the word itself, on which syllable. Now we've got some base words, and again we're going to make adjectives by using a suffix. So these are some very useful adjective suffixes, and we can use them to make these nouns and verbs into adjectives. So again, just have a go. And now let's look at the answers. The last one that we're going to look at is a quick one and relates to adverbs. Usually if a word ends in ly, then it's an adverb, but you do need to be careful though, there are some exceptions. For example, well, hard, fast. So really this screencast is just a quick introduction to the way that these words work and to show you how you can multiply your vocabulary in a matter of moments. This can transfer across all of your curriculum subjects. This is an exercise that I did with some Year 12s in biology not so long ago. And the idea was to look at some of the words that came up in biology and to make sure that the students could use all of the forms of the words. Sometimes there isn't one of these words, but it's still a good idea just to have a go and see how many different forms of the words you can make so that you can use it in lots of different sentence types. If you know how to build the different parts of speech, then your life does become a whole lot easier when you're speaking and also when you're writing. So as you are going through your work this week, just have a look and see if you can practice identifying different parts of speech and sentences, and if you can recognise what the prefixes do or what the suffixes do in terms of changing the meaning of the word or changing the form of the word. Okay, so I'm sending a big cheeky grin your way and saying a big cheeky ciao for now. Have a great week.